Hi guys, my name is Aidan Lucid and I am doing this video review today for Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's not something I usually do, but because this film is so special in so many ways to a lot of people, I wanted to do it and just give my opinion on what I thought about Zack's Justice League. So I suppose the main question that's on everybody's mind is that hasn't seen the movie yet, is it any good? Well, let me put your mind at ease by saying yes, it is really really good. I would go so far as to say that it's Zack Snyder's best work to date. I mean, I loved 300. I loved Man of Steel. Really liked Man of Steel. I wasn't too interested in Batman versus Superman. I have to be honest about that. I saw that in the cinema back in 2016, and I was so looking forward to it, and I came away feeling disappointed. And I, when the Ultimate Edition was released, I suppose it did improve it some bit, but still to me, it felt a bit long and dragged out and boring and depressing in some ways. The actual fight between Batman and Superman is really good, or was really good. But overall, I just felt it was a long, grim, depressing movie. With the Ultimate Edition, no, the Ultimate Edition, like I said, did make fill in a few plot holes, but still, it wasn't great. So I approached this movie with a sense of trepidation, and I was really kind of nervous in one way because with all the hype and everything, I just didn't want it to be a repeat of Batman versus Superman. But about 15 20 minutes into the movie, you can tell that this is going to be something special. Even the first shot, was just set the tone for the movie. And this is going to be a spoiler free video. I don't want to ruin it for anybody because I know it came out yesterday, both in America and Ireland and the UK and around maybe other places in the world. And I don't want to spoil it because I know some people haven't seen it yet. But that first shot that you see was just absolutely amazing, and like there's just a whole range of shots in the movie that are so iconic. So before I go on any further with this video, I just want to say this video is not going to be a Joss Whedon bashing session, okay? Um, Joss Whedon was called in 2017, and in my opinion, maybe he should have left things as they were. But for whatever reason he saw fit, he came along and changed it for his own particular vision of how he felt the Justice League should be. Um, Now, to be fair to the guy, he only had about six, from what I read, and if I'm wrong on this, guys, please correct me. But from what I read, he had 6 to 8 weeks to actually complete, do some rewrites and do some reshoots and have the movie ready to go, basically for the Christmas market in 2017. And for the most part, I really liked his version. I did, and I think other people did too. And we finally got a Justice League movie, back in 2017, something we were waiting for a long time. But I have to be honest, after seeing Zack's version, I don't think I'll ever go back to Joss Whedon's version. To be fair to the guy, I'm not trying to, you know, be nasty to him or anything like that, but he butchered it, and I'm gonna have to call a spade a spade. He did butcher Zack Snyder's Justice League, and in some ways he made it a bit campy and something that it shouldn't have been. So, look, that was his vision, and we have to respect that. And like I said, I did like it, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is so superior in every way. So I have notes here that I made, and I'm just going to refer to those notes throughout the video review. And then after I give my overall opinion on the movie, I'm going to do a character breakdown for each member of the Justice League and how I felt they performed in the movie. Okay, so like I said, it tonally is very different. The first 15 to 20 minutes really set the tone of the movie. and like it's just night and day, chalk and cheese compared to Joss Whedon's version. Um, there's more character in depth. Obviously, with the movie being nearly 4 hours long, over here in Ireland, it was 3 hours and 52 runtime. Uh, uh, I think over in America it's 4 hours and 2 minutes. Um, in our version, we saw over here in Ireland and the UK, there was no post credit scenes. All the extra scenes that were included in the epilogue. I don't know if there were post credit scenes in the American version. I've seen on HBO Max. Um, like I said, it's 4 hours long, but it's 3 hours 52 minutes long, but you don't really feel the time going. There were a few scenes that kind of felt like, did he really need to be there? For example, there's one scene that you have at the start where Bruce meets Arthur Curry first. And we look, this isn't a spoiler. You guys know that scene anyway. But the extra bit that they show in Zack Snyder's version of their first meeting, um, uh, when Arthur Curry goes back into the water and he says basically he's not signing Johnny up with Batman, and it's to stop the forces, dark side and the forces coming to Earth. Um, there's a girl singing some kind of song in, I suppose, in their Icelandic language. I don't know what the name of their native language is, but she sings it in their own language. And like as she's doing it, she's holding on to the jumper that Arthur Curry threw off. And I suppose the way she's holding the jumper is that it's like she sees him as their kind of savior or protector, and as a kind of a god, so to speak. And I can understand why you did it, but I just felt it didn't add anything to the scene. I felt that Joss Whedon was right to cut that out of his version of the Justice League. Um, there's a few other little scenes like that I felt they could have left out. That maybe it might have been better if they, just left those parts out altogether. But overall, I mean, you don't feel the runtime at all. It's just like, for example, I had to leave 35 minutes into the movie to go somewhere, and I needed to go to this place, and I just didn't want to leave. I was so hooked and involved in the movie, and it's just, it was amazing, and I just didn't want to leave. Um, the scenes in Themyscira or Paradise Island are actually really some of the most beautifully shot scenes in the movie. Um, I mean, I actually loved the scenes there. I thought there was a real kind of Lord of the Rings vibe off those scenes, and the one thing I will say was Zack Snyder, and I have to give him credit for doing this. Like every place has a different, unique feel to it. Like when you're in Themyscira, or Paradise Island, it's like you're back in ancient Greece or ancient mythological kind of times. And then, when you come to Gotham, it has a different kind of feel to it. Like there's a dark, grim kind of a feel to it. And then when you go to Metropolis, there's more of an upbeat kind of like a hopeful kind of busy kind of a feel to it, like a real city vibe. And I know that's probably representative of each character. Like, Superman's all about hope, and especially with the symbol on his chest, meaning that. And then you have like Batman is brooding and always kind of in the shadows, and kind of like, it's just every place has their own individual energy and feel to it, and I have to give Zack Snyder credit for doing that. I seen it, other superhero movies that every place you go to, you know, they don't feel different. It's just same kind of, um, with the exception of maybe in game and Infinity War. You know, like there were some really good you know, scenes in that, and some beautiful shots in those movies too. Um, and some of the places did have their own individual feel to it, but with Zack's, it's just so different, you know, and it's just a testament to the man's ability as a director and as a visionary and as a storyteller as well. Um, there, like I said, there are some beautiful iconic shots, and like for example, again to use Avengers as a reference point, in the very first Avengers movie over here in Ireland, in the UK, it's called Avengers Assemble. But I know in America it's just called the Avengers. Um, we see there in one section when they're fighting all the monsters in New York City, or the aliens, um, the Chitari, I think they're called. Sorry, uh, like you see the camera spin around all the Avengers as standing together, you know, shoulder to shoulder, ready to take on whatever is coming towards them. And like, there's one really cool shot in the in just Zack Snyder's Justice League, where you see when they're fighting the parademons in the Russian town near the nuclear site, nuclear plant. They, like, you see the Batman's like Batmobile, and then you see like all the members of Justice League around it, and like Zack just freeze frames that shot for just a second or two. It's just so cool, and you might have seen that picture online about it. You know, you might have seen the picture online of that scene. It's just so cool, and it's just as iconic as the camera spinning around the Avengers, the first Avengers movie. Um, there's a few throwbacks to previous DC movies, you know, a few hints, um, and a few kind of nods to Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. Um, Also, as well, you can see that there were some scenes taken from those movies. You know, and I'll get to that in a second. There was one or two Batman scenes that were taken from, I think it is Batman versus Superman. Um, and for Man of Steel as well, there was one for Superman there from Man of Steel. I get to that in a second too. Um, the resurrection scene is much better when they do eventually revive Superman. I think that's so much better. It's like it's longer and there's more emotion to it. And like I just felt Joss kind of glossed over that, and he kind of just rushed it. He didn't play out like Zach does, and it has much more of a logical standpoint. Because you know, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say too much, but it's just better in every way, and it just makes more sense the way Zach did it. Um, I With regards to Steppenwolf is actually a lot more of a threat in Zack's version than he is in Joss Whedon's. I mean, in Zack's version, he looks so much better. The CGI is so much better. Um, like his armor is so much cooler, and he looks more threatening. He's more of a danger, you know. And like okay, I know he wasn't exactly a pushover, in Joss Whedon's Batman, or sorry, Justice League, but like with Zack's Justice League, he's so much more menacing, so much more. You actually feel afraid for the members of the Justice League and for the Amazons when he appears, both Themyscira and also, um, uh, you know, in Earth as well. Um, the battle scene, uh, where when Diane is explaining the previous battle that uh, was held on Earth between Darkseid and, say, all the kings of this world, and the, you know, the Amazons and the Atlanteans, and, you know, the gods of the Amazons. Um, that was just amazing. I mean, like, it was so much longer. It was so much cooler. Like it was just really really cool, and you know, it was more in depth in that scene as well. Um, and like he was just cooler on every level. Like he was just really like a Lord of the Rings kind of a fight, you know. I think actually, to be fair, I think Zach did a much more justice, excuse the pun, to that fight, to that scene, you know, than any of the Lord of the Rings movies and their battles. It was just amazing. Now, to be fair, I suppose this is a comic book movie, so you know there will be a different feel to the battles in this one as opposed to like say Tolkien's Lord of the Rings movies. But you know, he was just amazing, and it was better in every way, and it was much more fleshed out and much more epic to watch. Um, Darkseid, um, there wasn't much depth to his character. I mean, if you look at Thanos in Infinity War and in game, um, you know, there was more depth to his character. You get some kind of a backstory to his character, and he wasn't two dimensional. He was three dimensional. You know, um, like he wasn't just a brute. Like there was, it shows some of his personality. It shows some of his motivations behind why he does what he does, and he seemed better developed. But Darkseid, you know, I suppose maybe because uh, Zack relied on maybe the fans' knowledge of Darkseid. He felt he didn't need to include some backstory about Darkseid. You know, I don't know. Even if he gave an extra 20 minutes to the movie, I know it's nearly 4 hours long, but I wouldn't have minded. You know, seeing 20 minutes about Darkseid and his the reason why he's doing what he's doing, and but in excuse me, in this movie, he's just seen like a brute, and like a big thug and a bully, and he's just two dimensional, and you know they could have developed his character a bit more. But while we're on the subject of character development, I do feel that Zach did a better job of doing the backstories of the characters here. I feel that he took the time to really kind of explore them, and especially Ray Fisher's cyborg. I mean, like Joss Whedon totally, you know, butchered his character, and you know, I explained that in the cyborg section. But like you know, it's just Zach took the time to actually develop the characters, and it showed that he actually cared about them, you know. And especially with Flash and Cyborg, I felt with their characters in in Joss Whedon's version, I just felt that you know they were just there to act as a bit of filler, and you know Ezra Miller was Flash was just kind of like to provide some humor. Now he does provide some humor in this movie as well, but I some of the jokes felt kind of flat and they weren't funny at all. So, but again, you know, at least we get some of the humor. I felt that was what was lacking in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. They were so serious, and they were just there was no real humor in them. Like, um, with regards to Superman in this, and again I'll cover this in his section. I felt that you know they could have maybe brought him in a bit sooner. I think they brought him in around the 2 hour 45 minute mark, and I felt he was a bit underused. In one way, I can kind of see why they did it, but I just you know for a lot of Superman fans, I felt they could have brought him in a bit sooner. Um, and he just felt more underused. Uh, but you know, I will go more into detail about him in his section. Um, the last 60 minutes of this movie were probably the best. 60, 70 minutes of it were probably the best, and in that it contains a lot of action scenes, and they were really, really cool. And this is the one thing that Zack Snyder does really, really well, and that's action scenes. And it just felt like a live, you know, action graphic novel. You know, it just it was just amazing, and like the way the CGI with dark side and the omega beams, and it was just really really cool. And like even the way that Zack shot some of the scenes with Superman and Batman, it was just amazing. And I have to give credit to the guy. He's an amazing director, and he knows how to makes do truly iconic shots. Um, the epilogue packs an emotional punch, and I really do feel that like especially with Ray Fisher's cyborg. Again, I'm not going to say too much, but when you see it, you know what I'm talking about in the epilogue. It really drives home um, the message that they were trying to send. And that's the one thing about Zack's Justice League. There is much more of an emotional impact, and there's more of a punch to it than there is with Joss Whedon's. Joss Whedon maybe had more humor in his, but there was more emotion and there was more love, I think, for the characters in Zack's Justice League. Um, and the final two scenes, again, without going into spoiler territory, I feel that they were great scenes. Um, and we get to see, and you probably know who it is. We get to see another member of the Justice League that would have appeared in the sequel, had they done the sequel, and you know who that person is. So, uh, yeah, I really don't want to say it, but let's just say you'll be green with envy, okay? And it's not who you think. All right. So I really do hope they do a sequel. So this we the fans deserve sequels. So and I really do hope they release it on Blu-ray or DVD as well. Because if they do, I will definitely not watch Joss Whedon's version anymore. This for me is the definitive version of Justice League, the real version we should have got 4 years ago. And I have to give credit to Zack Snyder and the fans for making this happen. And I think Zack's daughter, Awesome, will be very very proud of this. And we really should support this movie, guys. Okay, if I'm to wrap this up, I'm gonna give my overall opinion on it now. I'm gonna say this is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. I can definitely say, hand in heart, that this is the best comic book movie of the last decade. My favorite two comic book movies of all time would probably be before this would probably be Superman 2 and Man of Steel, and maybe In Game as well. But now I can safely say that Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be sitting right on the number one spot for a long time. It is that good. It's not perfect. It has certain flaws that carried over from Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, but it was good. It was really really good, and it's just it doesn't even blow Joss Whedon's so Justice League out of the water. It blows it out over the planet. It's that good. I mean, you know, I'm just still in awe at what Zack Steiner did, and I'm really really proud and happy that he did get to finish his vision for this movie. So it's a 9 out of 10 for me, and we're now going to. I'm now going to do the breakdown for each of the individual member of the Justice League. Okay, so the first superhero that or the first member of the Justice League we're gonna talk about is Batman. Um, Overall, to me, um, this felt like the real, authentic Batman. In Zack's Justice League as opposed to Joss Whedon's because um, something felt off about Batman and Joss Whedon's version. Excuse me, sorry. And um, like the dialogue. a lot of the dialogue that he had in that movie, it just didn't feel or sound like Batman. Um, it just came across as feeling a bit off. But here, every word that Ben Affleck said sounded really, really natural and just really like Batman. Um, it felt like his Batman in Batman versus Superman. That was, in my opinion, the best, the best version of Batman that I've ever seen on screen, on the big screen, and I have to say that again, he shines here. He seems a lot more interested in the role in this version of Justice League. He doesn't come across as being bored or, um, like he just can't wait to do this to get to finish the scene. With this one, it's like he really cares and he delivers the lines and says the lines like Batman would say in the comics, and it's just perfect. Really, it's just really, really, really is good. Um, I feel in this Justice League as well that he like he's a better leader too, and he is also more willing to listen to suggestions, and he's also willing to let other people take the lead too when he doesn't have the answers to a question or a way out of a kind of a dangerous situation. Um, he's also more vulnerable too, in the sense that he shows um, that he's a more emotional side. Um, I feel that was one of the things that were lacking in Joss Whedon's Batman as well, or Joss Whedon's Justice League as well. Um, that caught me line too from the scene where they're fighting the para demons in that I think it's in Strikers Island as they're going into the tunnel. Uh, where they're fighting the demons there, and he's in a nightcrawler, and he says to the parademons, "Sorry, I didn't bring a sword" or something like that. I just didn't like that line. I thought it was very stupid. I just didn't like it at all, and I really am glad that they got rid of that line in this movie. Overall, I have to say, with regards to this version of Batman, I love him, and I think it's really, really cool, and it's really like it is in the comics. And I have to give kudos to Ben Affleck for pulling it off in this movie, and I really have to say that it's a great Batman, and I think Zack Snyder did justice to the character too, um, because he feels more like Batman, and his dialogue gives it a more authentic feeling as Batman. So for me, Batman gets a 10 out of 10 this one. The next character that we have is Cyborg. Now I have to say, I I I, I didn't really understand. I did understand why Ray Fisher was angry. But I didn't really know the whole story behind that. I read about some of it, but I didn't really understand too much or get why he was angry. Okay, or what he was angry about. I know that just Joss Whedon was a bit of a pain to work with, according to him and a few other people, and that he was very disrespectful. But after seeing this version of Justice League, I can truly understand why he was angry and all, because I mean, you know, Joss Whedon totally took out Cyborg's backstory in this. Um, in Joss Whedon's Justice League, he's just there. He's kind of a means to an end. His backstory isn't really delved into too much. But in this one, yeah, you get more of a feel for the character, and he's more likable as a character. Um, and you have a strong emotional connection with Cyborg. Um, he's much more developed, and he's a lot more interesting. And when he eventually kind of overcomes his self doubt, you really feel for him. Um, Now, Zack Snyder and a few other people said that, you know, that Cyborg was the heart of Justice League. I have to disagree with that. No, he does play a much more integral part, and he is very important. But I just don't think he's the heart of Justice League, to be honest. Um, I think he's one of the two main characters. I think Batman is the other kind of important main character. But for me, I didn't think he was the heart of Justice League. Um, I also I thought that there was some cool scenes as well when he's first, trying out his new abilities, and when he's trying out his new, abilities after becoming cyborg. Um, the scenes where you see him flying and stuff like that. It reminded me very much of Tony Stark's uh, first tryout of his Iron Man suit. Um, so there are some similarities there between those two characters when they're trying out their suits. Um, and to be honest, he's to me he seems more like a leader at times than Batman, and he's always one step ahead with regards to technology and gadgets because obviously he's more integrated with technology and everything because of his body, and but like he always kind of seems to have more of a plan than Batman does. So you know, so I'm gonna give his character a 9 out of 10, and the reason why I'm docking him 1 point is I think at times his moodiness and like him not giving a crap about the world sometimes can kind of put you off, and I think maybe Zach kind of dwelled on that a bit too much, a bit too long. Um, but I did like his character, and he's much more likable in Zach's Justice League than in Joss Whedon's. So, like I said, I'm going to give him a 9. And the next character now we're going to talk about is the Flash. So, we're going to talking about Ezra Miller's Flash and his version of the famous Scarlet Speedster. Um, I love the way he was introduced in Zack's Justice League. There's a cool scene and of him saving somebody. You may have seen it in the trailers anyway, so it's not really a spoiler, um, but it's just what I like what Zack Snyder's Justice League version of Flash is that you see a lot more use of his powers, and he seems more confident and competent as well. He knows how to rescue people. He doesn't have to ask Batman for advice. He just goes in and gets the job done. Now, does he always do it right? No, he does. He doesn't. But he's a lot more like the Flash in Zack's Justice League than he is in Joss Whedon's. Um, his character as well is a bit more meatier, as in like there's more of substance to his character, and I think that he like he comes across as if he knows what he's doing, unlike Joss Whedon's one, and yeah, he does provide some humor. Some of the jokes do kind of fall flat, but some are funny as well. Um, the one thing I just don't like about Ezra Miller's Flash is the suit. The suit is just. I know it's supposed to be kind of like a homemade suit, but I mean, it just they could have got a lot better suit for him. Go in Joss's Justice League and in Zack's. I just felt the suit didn't do him justice. I mean, like they do really cool scenes with his powers, and the special effects for his powers are amazing. Um, but it's just I just didn't like the suit, and I just felt that they could have done a lot better. Um, I know, like I said, it's supposed to be kind of like a homemade look, but it just didn't. The suit didn't do it for me, and I felt that was the one thing that kind of brought his character down, as well as some of the jokes kind of falling flat. But I have to say though, his version of Flash in Zack Snyder's Justice League is 10 times better than in Joss Whedon's. So for Flash, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Okay, so the next one we have is Wonder Woman. Now, for me, I felt that Wonder Woman was one of the best characters in the movie. Um, if you're afraid you're going to see some of the campy Wonder Woman that we saw in Wonder Woman 1984, you needn't be afraid at all. Um, we see the Wonder Woman that was in the first movie in 2017. She makes a return here, and she's like the true Wonder Woman. I mean, she's not afraid to cut off heads, and you really see her. You really do see her, becoming more visceral, and really, like she's not afraid to just hack you apart, if she's pissed off. So I felt as well that she kind of held the team together, because like when things were kind of falling apart, like Cyborg, uh, she kind of held the team together, and she was a good leader too. So I think as well, um, Gal Gadot, I hope I pronounced her surname right. I think she showed more of a range in this movie than in the Wonder Woman 1984. Um, no, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed her, and as Wonder Woman, I think she's great. And I know Wonder Woman 1984 is not entirely her fault. I mean, at the end of the day, actors or actresses can only deliver the lines that they're forced to say. Um, well, I really liked her version of Wonder Woman here. I felt that she really, stood out as one of the best characters and one of the best things about this movie. So I'm gonna give her Wonder Woman a 9 out of 10. Um, the only reason why I'm docking her a mark is because I felt at times her delivery of some of the lines felt a bit flat. Um, but like that was only just in one or two scenes. But overall, she is one of the best characters in the movie, and she does a really great job as Wonder Woman. So, like I said, I'm gonna give her a 9 out of 10. Okay, so the second last character that we have is Aquaman. Um, Again, a bit of his backstory is fleshed out more in this movie. You get to see more of Atlantis and some of the characters that featured in his Aquaman movie. But to me, he's kind of the same Aquaman that we saw in Just Whedon's Justice League. You don't get to see too much more development. Um, like he still kind of delivers the same lines, and um, I felt they could have done a bit more with his character. And to be fair, I suppose they did to a certain extent, but I felt they could have done more. I felt, out of all the Justice League members, I felt that they could have done more with him. Um, but I suppose to counterbalance that, Zack knew in his mind that there was an Aquaman movie coming out. I suppose they knew that they were going to delve more into Aquaman's backstory in that movie. But still, for me, I just felt that they could have done a bit more with him. So I mean, he's still a good character. He still has, some great fight scenes. He still has got some great dialogue. And if you're worried about that scene that was in Joss Whedon's where he's sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, don't worry, that's not there. And I'm so glad that's not there. I actually, even though it was a bit of a funny scene, it would have been outplaced in this movie because of the tone of this movie. Like I said, it is upbeat and everything, but it just wouldn't fit in here. So I like Jason Momoa. I think he's a great actor, but I think he did the best he could with this version of Aquaman. I think he was a lot better in his own Aquaman movie because obviously he had more time to shine. But for me, out of all the characters, I think is the one that you know didn't really improve much on Joss Whedon's version, and it just he didn't really do anything for me as such. So I'm going to have to give his character a 7 out of 10. And finally, we come to the Man of Steel himself, Superman. He enters the movie around the 2 minute 45, sorry, 2 hours 45 minutes um, mark. And as I said earlier, that his resurrection scene is cool. Uh, there is a bit more of added on to the fight scene when he first comes alive, and he fights all the other members. Um, but what I like about this for Zack Snyder's Justice League Superman is there's much more of an emotional impact. I think he treats the character with respect more than Joss did, because there was more to his coming back than there was in Joss's version, and his more interaction with his mom and so on and so forth. Um, Now, when you see him, you know, get in the suit for the first time in this in Zack's Justice League, um, it's there is a scene that is taking out that is taken out of Man of Steel, and that's the one where he is the door opens up like that, and then you see his silhouette, and you see he's just all in black, and you can see the cape kind of billowing and there, and it's just a really cool scene, and it's just you get chills and goosebumps from looking at it. So now, and as you may have seen from the trailers and screenshots of the movie, um, for a lot of it, he is in the black suit, and I know some fans complain about that, but really, and I thought it would be an issue for me too, but it actually isn't. For the simple reason is, he's just so goddamn cool. I mean, Henry Cavill does a great job as Superman in this again. And when he comes back, man, he kicks ass, and he kicks ass in style. So, to me, it wasn't an issue. It wasn't a deal breaker. Um, Again, I can't say too much because I don't want to, ruin it for anybody. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, Superman was cool in this. Um, I do feel that they introduced him a bit late. In one way, I can understand why they didn't introduce him sooner. Um, that they wanted to take time to build up to bring him back. I do feel with Joss Whedon's Justice League, they did rush it. That they should have taken a bit more time in getting to his bringing him back. But I think Zach took the right amount of time, and I think Zach took the right approach. And I do feel that when Superman does come back, he's really cool, really really cool. And to me, it's just a shame that he wasn't in a bit longer. But like I said, I can understand why he wasn't. So because of that he wasn't in it as much, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Uh, but man, when he does come back, he is really really cool, really cool. Um, so and unfortunately, the line that he says, I like truth and justice or whatever, something whatever that line is, that he says in Joss Whedon's Justice League, that isn't in this one, unfortunately. But what he does say instead, is kind of cool, and what he does after he says it is kind of cool as well. So that's it, guys. That's my review of the Justice League and all the characters. I really hope you enjoy it, and I really do hope you do the right thing. And either, if you're in Ireland and UK, subscribe to Sky Cinema through Now TV, or if you're in America, um, sign up to HBO Max and support this movie, guys. The only way we're gonna get a sequel, and we really do deserve a sequel because this movie is really really good. Okay, the only way we're gonna get a sequel to this is by doing it the right way. Is by viewing it through either HBO Max or through Sky Cinema. Okay, let's do this the right way. Please don't pirate this. Okay, Zack Snyder put a lot of time and effort into this. A lot of the fans worked hard to fight for it and get it shown. So please do the right thing and view it the right way. Okay, don't pirate it, guys. Please don't pirate it. Okay, the more we support this movie and the more it's seen on both on HBO Max and Sky Cinema, the more of a positive result that's gonna provide. So guys, please do the right thing and just see the movie the right way. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this movie or enjoyed this review, sorry. And I hope you really do enjoy Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, because I know I did, and I know that, once it comes out in Blu-ray, hopefully it will come out in Blu-ray, I'm going to throw away Joss Whedon's one because, there's no comparison really. Zack Snyder's Justice League is just a masterpiece. He has outdone himself and is one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. Uh, and in time it may become the best comic book movie ever. So guys, I really hope you have a great time viewing it and enjoy Zack Snyder's Justice League. And thank you very much for watching this review. And have a great day, guys.